This video is all about creating an HP bar that changes color with the amount of health left. So this is a basic scene setup. I've just created a scene called HP bar. This is my main camera. On the main camera I have selected in the clear flags, I've selected solid color here and chosen a bit of darkish, blackish, whatever color. Okay, move on. Let's move on to the important part. So the video is basically a bit detailed, and if you want to skip to how exactly create the gradient, the HP bar that changes color based on amount of health left, you can just skip ahead to that part. Otherwise, let's just go ahead and see first how to create an HP bar itself. So first of all, we will go to UI and create a canvas. Once our canvas is ready, let's go to the scene. It's selected, switched to 2D here, and this is our canvas here. If you don't see your canvas like this, you can select your canvas here and then press F and make sure you have 2D selected here. So then you will be able to see your canvas like this. Next, what we will do is we will go to UI and we will create an image. And for this, let's create a sprite as well. So I will go to my project here, project folder, right click, actually outside the scene folder, right click, create sprite, and create a square. That's it. Now I'll go to the image and assign the square here, and that's it. Let's just go ahead and use the UI sprite for the background. So this will be the background of our HP bar. Okay, let me just increase the width to 1000, move it, I think this is fine here, and it's going to turn off the fill center here. This will be the background of our HP bar, so I'm just going to call it bar base. Now for the main HP bar itself, I will go again to UI, create an image inside this as a child of this, then I'll select it, go here and press Alt Shift and choose this one. Now this will shift our anchors to this point and this point. So if we change the width now, it will always stick to that point. So let's just go ahead and do 1000. Okay, now that's that. Let's just select the square here. Once we put that, we will get a bit of more options. So go to the image type and select select filled. Once that is selected, go to the fill method, change the fill method to horizontal. That means we want it to be filled from this end to this end. So as you can see, if I change it here now, this is being filled from this end to that end. So I think you already got the idea. So this is how our HP bars work. So we will basically be changing the value of this to indicate the amount of health left. Now the main part, how exactly to create a bar that itself changes the color automatically based on the amount of health left. And we will be using the simplest and the fastest way of doing it. So let's go ahead and create a script, call it HP bar UI. Okay, once our script is ready, just gonna open it up in Visual Studio. There it is. Delete this and delete this. We need Unity Engine .ui so that we can reference the images. So public image filled bar. Okay, so this will be the filled part of our bar. And to see the action, see it in action inside the editor without entering the play mode, I'm just gonna do execute in edit mode. Alright, or let's not get into that. I mean, let's just keep that for a different tutorial itself. So I'm just gonna put a gradient here, the most important part of this method, public gradient, and this will be our gradient. Alright, now we will be changing the color of this image based on the value of this. So how will we do that? So filled bar dot color is equals to gradient dot evaluate filled bar dot fill amount. So how much ever is it's filled between 0 to 1. This takes values between 0 to 1 and this has values between 0 to 1, so we can use it to assign the color here. We're doing it in the update function right now just for the demonstration, so that we can see it in action, but never use these kind of things. I mean, this is not very costly, but generally try to avoid using the update function too much. It runs a lot, and we will exactly see how to do that and how we do that moving ahead in a bit. So now let's go ahead and assign the HP bar UI component, the script, to the bar base here. So I selected the bar base, dragged and dropped this here. Now I'll select the filled area. This is the filled image. Okay, so I'll select this and drag and drop this here. Now you should be able to see the gradient here. If I click on the gradient, you'll see it gives me something like this. So how to create a gradient? I have a few presets. I'll be using one of those, but let me just show you how to create one. So I selected this one, this and here the key, and I chose a red color, went here, chose a green color, and this looks dull here, so I'm just gonna go in the middle and select a yellow color. Okay, now that should give you an idea of how to create a gradient. I'm gonna use one of my presets, so this one. Now that's us all set up. So we will be changing the value of this and it will be changing inside the game. So let's hit play. Since we have done it in the update, so we can see it directly happening in front of us. As you can see, goes from red to green. Alright, so since this is happening in the update function, also let's do one more thing, which is basically move it by 5 and 5 5 and 990. Now that should give us a perfect HP bar. I mean, it already looks good. You can use it in one of your games. I mean, all right. So that's basically how you create an HP bar that changes its color based on the amount of health left. If you want to leave, yeah, you should probably go now. But if you want to stick around and see a couple of more things, like creating a couple of buttons that one will be an attack button, another one will be a heal button, and see it in action, how to do it properly, let's go ahead and do that. So I'll be creating a button. I'll go here in the UI and select button here. Just gonna move this down by 200, give it a width of 200 and a height of 80. Gonna move it minus 200, give it a greenish color, and name this button heal. Change the text size here to 40 and from normal to bold, call this heal. Change the color to white, change the green to a bit of dull green so we can see the white clearly. Alright, now let's duplicate this and create an attack button. That's our attack button. Gonna move this to plus 200 and I'm gonna give it a reddish color instead. Looks good. Gonna change the text to attack. Okay, now our buttons are ready. Now let's also create a text that shows how much health we have left. So this is gonna be our HP text. Gonna move it up by 300, gonna give it a color of white, change the overflow to overflow in both horizontal and vertical, gonna shift it to middle and middle, gonna give it a size of 100, and actually let's give it a size of 200 so we can see the big letters, basically how much health is left. So 100 will look like this, 90 like this, 10 like this, and 0. I think yeah, I mean, for the fancy of it, let's give it a yellow color. Okay, so let's start with 0 here. I mean, we're gonna change it in the start function anyway, so let's go ahead and use these things in the script. So I'm just gonna open my script here. So public text HP text, that's our HP text. Now public int min HP and max HP. These values are what we are going to assign in the inspector, and this will be a private int current HP. Sorry about that. So current HP, this will be our current HP that will basically store how much health is left. So in the start function, we're gonna go and assign the current HP is equals to max HP divided by 2. Okay, now instead of update, I'm going to change this to update UI. Now this function won't be called an update, and I'm going to call this function here update UI. In the start function, I'm calling this function. Now we are doing a couple of things. First of all will be HP text dot text is equals to current HP dot toString. This is setting the text on the HP text to our current health. Secondly, we'll be changing the filled bar dot fill amount, which will be equal to now current HP divided by max HP. And we will do a check here. If max HP is equals to 0, then what we want to do is, first of all, we want to return. We don't want to execute any further, because then this will give us a divide by 0 error. And here we're gonna give us a debug.log that says max HP can't be 0. Can't be 0. That's it. Just a safety check. I like to do these things. I mean, although I was gonna assign the values there, but just in case any of you guys are gonna copy the script, and if you forget to assign the max HP, then yeah, okay. So public void heal. This function, we will call this function when the heal button is pressed. Public void attack. This function is when we will press the attack button. Now in points, how much points do you want to heal? In points, how much points do you want to remove? Okay, now let's go ahead and do current HP is equals to mathf dot clamp. Oh my god, sorry. Mathf dot clamp what? Current HP plus points between minimum HP and maximum HP. If any of you are confused, what this does is basically, if current HP plus points gives me a value of 110, I don't want to go beyond the actual amount of my health, the maximum amount of the health that it can be. I don't want to go beyond that, so I only want to go to 100 or 0. So if the total value of this first number here in the mathf.clamp, if the total value of this first number is below this, it will give this, and if it is above this, this give the maximum value. Now you want to call the update UI function when we press the heal button, as well as, let's just copy this here, paste it here, and instead of plus, this time we're doing minus since we are attacking, and that's it. Let's just go to Unity and assign these things back. So first of all, the HP text, we drag and drop it from here to here. Minimum HP will be 0, maximum HP will be 100. Now I'll go to heal button, scroll down to this on click option here, click plus, drag and drop the bar base so I can select the HP bar UI functions. This will be a heal of 10 points, or actually let's do 5 points. Now attack, again drag and drop this here so I can select one of the function on one of its scripts, attack 5, and that's it. Now we're ready to test it. Let's hit play. We're doing something wrong here. Let's go ahead and see what we did wrong here. Oh yeah, as I forgot to mention here, so we want to always change this value to float, since we're dealing with integer values in the health, in terms of health, since we have integer values. So integer divided by integer will always give us an integer value, so if it will mostly give us a 0 and 1 only if this is equals to the max HP. So we want to typecast this to float, the first one, so that it gives us a float value, a float division. Alright, we're ready now. So now hit play. We're at 50, and as we said it in the start function, we want to go to the 50 and then update the UI. Now I attack, it changes to red, won't go below 0. Now I heal, goes all the way to 100 and won't go beyond that and changes to green. I attack, goes to red and goes to green. That's it. That's all for this video. In the next video we will learn more about Unity UI, and in the upcoming videos we'll keep learning things like these. And if you are a super beginner for Unity, I have a series planned that will be the simplest game that one can make in Unity without any prior knowledge of programming in any language at all, or any prior knowledge of Unity. I wanted to do this because I've seen a lot of people, and a lot of people came to me asking if they can learn to make games even if they don't know anything at all about it. And I was like, sure, you can, but the thing is, most of the tutorials out there need some kind of expertise in some kind of field. And most of the tutorials at the beginning are like, for example, let's say a Flappy Bird game or something like that. But even for that, it's a bit too much if someone's just starting out. So I have decided to create a playlist that will be a game that's the simplest form of game possible, which will be a clicker game. And we're gonna do that in a series coming soon. So thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you, and I hope you enjoyed it and I didn't bore you too much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.